Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is Edna J. White, and I'm so glad you're with me today. Today, you are on Keeping It Real on Purpose. I'm so glad you're here. And I want to tell you that we have the most exciting guest, maybe. Yeah, I think so. Audience, you know me. I am so spontaneous, but you know what? I live on energy, and this next guest has lived on energy, and she's actually probably energized me and her together. So I want you to be introduced to the most amazing, the most spontaneous, the most lovable. Should I say her name? I know you on pins and needles. If I had the drum roll, go ahead and do the drum roll for me, guest. Don't tell them who you are yet.
I'm doing a drum roll.
Ah, to the most amazing Shelly. I'm gonna mess the last name, Michelle. Did I say it
You
right?
got it. You
Ah!
got it.
And she's a speaker, an author. She is a certified life coach. And I don't know by the 323 is where? Where's that?
I'm in California.
Oh, you know what? All you California people, leave me alone. I'm on Long Island, cold, and y'all all warm and nice. So California audience, yet again, another one. Okay, so
Yes.
she's amazing, and I'm so excited to hear about her and her business. So, Shelly, tell us something about you. Introduce yourself and tell my audience all about you.
Well, I am really just a very down to earth woman who has an extremely huge passion for women and for women to feel as though they've been seen and heard, for them to feel like they're worthy. I love the simple things in life. I love to be able to go outside and sit, or just watch some mindless TV and enjoy my afternoon. I love being by myself. you know I'm friendly and kind, and I don't take too many things too seriously, and I'm a hardworking woman. I love to call myself your cheerleader, because that's what I feel that I am. I feel that people that I meet, people that I engage with, I want to see them win, and so I become their cheerleader. And that's
Wonderful.
pretty much all about me. It's real
That's
simple. It's real
amazing.
simple, Edna.
Real simple. Real simple. Well, when I was going to school, they said, keep it simple, stupid.
Stupid.
So kiss. Mwah! I
Yes,
kiss
yes.
you, and I'm so glad that you're here. Share with us when you said that you keep it simple, you are a cheerleader. I like that. I like that. That you're a cheerleader. And I know for myself, learning how to be a cheerleader for myself took a lot of energy. Let's talk about being a cheerleader for ourselves and then for others. Let's talk about that.
Well, it took me a minute to learn how to be a cheerleader for myself, because I believe that I kind of learned it backwards, and I was a cheerleader for other people. I
Oh,
think I was
yeah.
always that person that other people came to, other people wanted advice from. I was able to encourage other people. So I was always giving, giving, giving. So when it came to myself and being able to pour life in myself, give to myself, see myself, find my worth, I think it was a bit harder to be my own cheerleader than it was to cheer for other people.
Absolutely. And we're both life purpose coaches. You don't find that too much. Okay.
Right.
Because
That's so true. So true.
we believe that you know you are who you represent. You are, if you're being your whole self, you can do business, you can
Mm-hmm.
whatever you want to do, you can be that, but you have to be yourself first. So
Absolutely.
that's most
Absolutely.
important. That so we agree about that.
Absolutely.
That's
You have to be able to know who you are before you
yes.
can actually walk in anything. And so even if you want the best relationship, I believe it's so important for us to understand who were you created to be? Because if Shelly doesn't understand Shelly, if Shelly doesn't know who God created her to be, if Shelly doesn't know her purpose, her gifts, her talent, her destiny, all of
Right.
these things, then Shelly is confused. Shelly is frustrated. Shelly is combobulated. Shelly doesn't know, direction. And if I don't know those things, how can I give in a relationship? How can I properly direct my business? How can I pour my best self into my children? At the core of it all, it's still about who are you? Who have you been destined to be? And what are those qualities so that you can discover you and then you can be everything else? We got to get the core first. Who are
Right.
you?
Right. And that's really important in the, I don't want to say the word core again thing, the core word, but it's in the crux of all things. It's all about you. And I teach about, and I teach 9 continents. I've been doing it internationally for a while. And I teach about, if you don't know who you are,
Mhm.
how are you going to expect somebody else who you maybe in a romantic relationship? And I think many people, let's talk about romantic relationships, because I coach women of color. That's who all I coach is women of color. And we often get confused when we come into relationships with our bag lady. It's so bad, right? And you got dragging all these bags like that. Okay, we're going to come into a relationship and we're going to say, hey, babe, we're going to take the flowers, we're going to do all that, and we're going to smile. And then we're going to be sitting there. Now, listen, I had a bad relationship with Peter, okay? And he cheated on me. He did all these things. And you ain't going to do that to me, right? You got all these, as soon as you meet
As
somebody,
soon as you
you
walk in the
grab that
door.
relationship bag and you say, let me pull this over here and give them ultimatums. Can we talk about, you and I talk about ultimatums in relationships? Let's talk about that.
Well, first of all, I don't believe in ultimatums in relationship because that puts responsibility on someone else to be able to fulfill some part within me. And so I don't believe in ultimatums, but what I do believe in is understanding and knowing my boundaries and understanding and knowing those things that I'm willing to accept. It's not an ultimatum for you. It's a boundary that I've set for me. And so the boundary for me is A, B, and C. And I don't think there's anything wrong with us coming to the table and allowing someone to understand our boundaries. But the first thing that I always ask my clients when they talk about relationships and when they talk
Mhm.
about how they haven't been able to find anyone and things like that, my first question is, do you even know the purpose of the relationship? And a lot of times we don't. We jump, from man to man or woman to woman, but we jump from these different relationships and you have no idea of what you want in a
Right.
relationship. All you know is, my body is tired of being alone. I'm tired
Right.
of being alone. I want
Say
somebody
that.
in my bed.
I
That's all
say
you
that.
know. But there is no purpose. There is no foundation. All you have is fluff, sweetie. You got a bunch of icing and no cake. And so you
Say
want to
that.
build,
Say it.
on
It's
a
true.
bunch of fluff. And so what I like to find out
Flesh.
is exactly,
Fluffy
you're building
flesh.
on flesh. Exactly. The fluff of flesh.
Yes. I love it.
So what
It's
I want to know is, when you get in a relationship, what's your purpose for it? Be honest with yourself. Be real and say, you know what? I don't have a real purpose for this relationship. I'm tired of not getting none. So that's all that I want. Be real so that when you come
right.
into that relationship, you can create realistic and firm boundaries on
Right.
what it is that you desire at that particular time. That don't mean that that's what you're going to want 6 months from now, but what
Right.
is your purpose right now? What is
Right.
the end game? What's the
Right.
goal of what you're doing?
Right.
And when we start looking at things like that, we find out sometimes, oh, I don't even have a purpose. Let me step back and figure out, what am I doing? Who am I? Why do I even want this? We find out a lot of things about ourselves when we ask, what's the end goal? What's
Right.
the end game to this? What's the purpose
Right.
of this?
Right.
So let's start with that. I
Right.
don't do ultimatums
Right.
because you're not going to be responsible
Right.
for the things that happen in my
Right.
life, my happiness, my joy,
Right.
my mood,
Exactly.
none of that.
Right. And that's what ultimatums do, is ultimatums give them the power to now
Exactly.
subjugate you to what they may even not even know what love is.
You
So
said it
it's
right there.
important. What you said is so important. We have to unpack the bags. And I like the fact that you said, I love the simple life. I like to be alone.
I, I, I
Not
do.
lonely. You
I
didn't
no,
say lonely.
no,
Say
but I
that.
do like to be alone. And my husband
Exactly.
he be looking at me strange, like, how you married and you want to be alone? I was like,
You
just go
didn't
with it.
say
Just go with it.
lonely. You said alone. You didn't
Yes,
say lonely. You said
that's right.
alone. There's a whole difference.
There's
Listen,
a
if we were
difference.
biblical, Jesus had all the friends he wanted. He had
Hmm.
12 friends, right?
Hmm.
He said, listen, they all was tired at the Garden of Gethsemane. They were all
Yep. Could
tired.
nobody stay awake?
Nobody can stay awake. We done traveled all night. You all got this energy. And so y'all stay here. He didn't begrudge none of them. I need some alone time.
I need to be alone. And
And
he practiced a long time.
he
It
did.
was
He
a part of his
practiced.
regimen.
There you go. He
Yes.
practiced it. And see, that's what we need to do. When you said jumping from relationship to relationship, we don't give our bodies time to rest.
Yes.
The chords of, because let me tell you something. I learned this a long while ago. That when you're in a relationship with someone, boyfriend, girlfriend, and chemically you're coupling with one another,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and chemically you're kissing and you're doing sexual acts, your chemistry is intertwining with those.
Exactly. Exactly. It's crossing with one another. You wonder why you angry all the time because the person you laying down with is angry all the time, and you guys are swapping
Hello,
these spirits.
hello.
And so you might want to check on that.
Oh well, but you need to hush up on this, because this gonna go longer than we're supposed to go on. But let me just tell you,
I'm
you
just
are
saying you
hitting
might
it.
want to check on that.
You hitting it. You're hitting it on the head. Those are chords, relationship
Mm-hmm.
chords, that you need to give yourself time, because anything that goes into your body, if you have a cold, it has to get out your system.
You need time to release
You
that.
need
You need time to
time.
heal.
That
You
is
need time to
correct.
heal.
To
And then
get
you
that
need time to
DNA out of
regroup.
you. Get
Yes.
that
Yes.
DNA out of you. Okay.
Exactly.
So that's why we walk around with these bags on, because we're not
Mhm.
carrying bags, we're carrying condoms full of semen on our
Girl,
back.
look, I'm out.
We're
I'm
carrying
gone.
it around. Okay?
You telling the truth.
We're carrying it around, and then we bring that condom right up front, whoever we're going to get see next, and expect
Yep.
to outdo that condom that's full of that, all that stuff. Gonna
That's
outdo
full of
that,
all that stuff.
all
And
that
now
stuff.
we want you to make it right. We want you to come in and make all of this
There you
work,
go.
make
There you go.
everything happen,
Right.
and so yeah, we have to be able to look at ourselves.
Right.
We really do. We have to be able to look at
We
ourselves and say,
really do.
what's missing in here?
Right. And
What's
we don't need to fill it with somebody else. We
and
need
you
to
don't need to
we,
fill it with someone else. You
we
need
need to
you need to find out where's the disconnect within
right.
myself
That's right.
so that I can stop connecting with other broken
Right.
pieces that only cut me.
There you go. When I was dating different people, before I got, even when I was married, I two failed marriages. One was not even my fault. Don't even, that was not my fault. But the second was definitely my fault. Okay, because I saw the signs. But my believed habits, patterns that I kind of conceived, things that I agreed to in the back of my mind, I agreed to them, and I disregarded the signs. I
Mm-hmm.
disregarded the signs. I want to talk about when we know as women, we know that something is going wrong.
Mm-hmm.
First sign. What keeps us where we at? Let's talk about that.
Well, if you've
in
already,
relationship.
a lot of times, especially now, people are physical a lot quicker,
Hmm.
than times before. There's a lot of
Yes.
hookups.
Yeah.
And so, as you said, when you're laying down with people, these different spirits and things, they cross over, and we really do get confused.
Right.
So we really can't logically sometimes look at a situation because we've been
Clear.
tangled up
Right.
physically, emotionally, and so
Right.
logic kind of goes out of the window. So we see the signs, but honey, he can twist me, flip me, turn me around, or
Right.
we see the signs, but I'm so depleted from wanting love because I haven't learned how to give it to myself, that I'm
Right.
willing to
Right.
take a fake version of love so that
Right.
I can pretend like I have it.
Right.
We have been so conditioned that we're complete when we have someone,
Right.
that if we go without a relationship for too long, we start looking, going, well, what am I not doing? And then we start dropping the standards a little bit,
Right.
and then dropping the standards. It goes from you got to have nice, beautiful teeth to, as long as you got 4 teeth, I'm fine.
Right. Yeah. I can fix the other four.
Right, right. I got a
I can
good
fix that.
dentist.
Yeah, yeah. I got a good dentist. You know, you know. I remember. I'm a Generation X. I don't. What generation are you? You
I don't know, to tell you
what's
the
are you
truth.
born in the
I
60s?
I'm in the 70s, so I
Okay, so
haven't.
you're after me. I'm a
Yeah.
generation of 60s. I'm a Generation X, and so you know, prior to that, I used to hear they romanced and all of this, and I'd be like, wow, that's really amazing. I don't, as a young girl, you don't know. Well, first of all, you don't know what romance is. Okay, you see the cartoons, and they're running around, on a horse and all. You expecting your boyfriend going to be doing all of this, so you get all of these misconceptions in your head,
We
right?
do.
The white picket fence. You got the two kids, no, one kid and a half and a dog. Okay.
Right.
You got one kid and one in your stomach, and then and the other one, the dog is running around, and the white picket fence,
Yes.
and everything's great. But that's all you see.
Mm-hmm.
You don't see what happens when you get from the picnic and you go inside and there's a disagreement.
Right.
The thing I want to talk to us women about is that we get so caught up in the fantasy.
Oh, absolutely.
Talk about
Absolutely. But you hit it, though. You hit it because we watching too much TV. We watching too many rom-coms. You see what I'm saying? We watch it, and we
I
forget that
see.
this is for entertainment purposes only. But we get caught up in that because we want that. We want somebody to chase after us and say, you're the love of my life. And I'm not saying it can't happen. What I'm saying is that relationships take time, effort, work, commitment, give, take, all that
Honesty, that's
lovey-dovey
right.
stuff
It
is
takes
in
all
there
of that.
too. But you taking a 2-hour movie and you trying to script, your
A whole
relationship.
life.
Yeah. And it just doesn't work. It doesn't work that way. But we are so stuck in I want to run through the meadows, and I want the smell of fresh laundry as I go. And,
And we live in the projects.
give me the flower, the flower in between my teeth. And we can
Well,
have romance. I believe in romance, and
right.
I believe in love. I believe in
Yes.
courtship. I believe in all of these beautiful things. But I also know that life is life. People are people. And when two people come together, we have different experiences. We have different backgrounds. We were raised differently. We have different ideologies. And we're bringing all of these things into a coupling.
Yeah.
And we are not going to be running through the meadows.
No.
And if we do,
Not
that's
if we don't
great.
have
We
them.
might, we might run on Friday, but on Saturday, we got to come on in here and clean these dishes.
You got that right. And we got to pay some bills.
We got to pay
And we
some
got to pay some
bills.
bills. And we got to see about each other.
Mm-hmm.
And we got, Judge Judy always says you have 2 ears and one mouth for a reason.
Well,
You got to learn to listen. And see, we
yes,
most of the time we listen with the agenda of we got to have a quick
of
answer.
responding.
That's right.
You know,
So it takes us like, and I love what you said, entertainment purposes only. That should be on everything that's on television. I know it should come up as a not a rating,
This
R-rated,
is for entertainment purposes.
entertainment only. And at the end of the movie, it should come up entertainment only. Do not put this in your mind and
Right.
keep it there. It's not real.
Right.
It has to be like cigarettes. On the back of the cigarettes, it says, Surgeon General warns this will be a habit. That's what needs to be on these movies sometimes.
We need to stop putting fantasy expectations on our partner, and learn how to enjoy their gifts and what they bring to the table. And when we learn how to enjoy one another's gifts and how to give to one another and how to pour into one another, and when we learn how to figure out, again, what's my purpose for this? Because if I don't know my purpose, then it's really not gonna make sense anyway. Because I need to know, is your purpose and my purpose, do they align with one another? Are
Right.
we going in
we
the same
equally
direction?
yoked? Are we equally yoked?
Yes,
Are we
exactly.
equally coupling
Are
together?
we better as friends? People have taken friendship off the table, and I don't know why. Why does it have to be, either we bumping and grinding or nothing? Why can't we build on friendship, and then from there go, hey, I think that we can take this into something else, or hey, I don't think we should try to touch that. Let's stay here. There's nothing wrong with friendship.
Because we've gotten out the remember when we had the word dating?
Oh yeah.
That word?
Yeah. Yeah. Look, I remember that distant word.
Yeah, that distant word. So dating, now it doesn't mean you're sleeping with somebody. You could have three people you're interested in. You don't gotta sleep with all three.
That's
You
right.
say, I'm dating to see who I'm with. Because you may not like,
Right.
great
I
friends.
am collecting data.
Right, collecting. People have forgotten, male and female alike, have forgotten what the word dating means. It
Yeah.
means getting to know one another.
Getting
All
to
of a
know one
sudden,
another.
I have people. Maybe the homelessness has contributed to that, and unemployment have contributed to this quick dating situation. Quick getting into meeting somebody, and all of a sudden they're moving into them. Maybe that's why they have so many shows like what's that one with the guy who Liam, I think his name is, and he find people who have been catfished.
Oh.
Maybe
Yeah. I've seen that. I've seen the show before. Yes.
would never. First of all, in my own right, I gotta see you, make sure you're real.
Right.
Even if you're on the phone. Now,
Right.
I need to see what you look like. All of that. Why would I invest time, a year, 2 years of
Yeah.
something online? It shows me that people have such a longing to
Yeah.
be loved,
To
and
be
especially
loved,
large
to have that root
yes,
touched,
yes, and it's
because
such a
it
problem.
hasn't been.
No,
And we fall into dangerous emotional situations
yes,
when we depend on other people to touch that root.
there
Now
you go.
again, don't get me wrong, when you're in a relationship with somebody, you should make me feel good, you should make
Right,
me feel
right,
nice, you should make me feel beautiful. What I'm saying is, you shouldn't be the reason
right,
I feel love,
right,
I feel
right,
valuable.
right,
You should add to the value in my
right.
life.
When we intertwine, we don't intertwine at the root. We intertwine where we met. So if you're on the branch, you're intertwining at the branch,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
not at the never at the root, because that root, it has to take sprout somewhere. So you're around that little piece there. Oh, it's growing on my tree. So you're never at the root,
Yeah.
and it always is a disappointment for many people that I've even coached, that they want somebody to meet them with
Mm-hmm.
their
Mm-hmm. And a lot of, I really think a lot of people don't know. I really do. I really think that a lot of people don't know that they're empty. They don't know that they're dry spots, you know. And so when you give someone the power to hold the liquid to your thirst,
Mm-hmm.
then you're in a very, very depleted,
Mm-hmm.
you know, situation.
Right.
And again, I grew up with a single parent, and my mother married when I was around 12,
Mm-hmm.
12, 13, something like that. But by that time, I felt like I don't need a, you know, a father figure. I don't need this. I don't need that.
Right.
And
Right. Right.
because that area had been depleted without me knowing, I was chasing after what I never knew, you know, that relationship was like.
Right.
I didn't know that. So I was chasing after something that I didn't even know I was thirsting for. So
Mm-hmm.
when young men saw that desperation or saw
Sure.
that vulnerability, when you
Mm-hmm.
saw that, you were more than willing to hold a gallon of water, you know, in my
Right.
face so that I can run for that and quench
Right.
that thirst. When I finally realized, oh, I'm depleted in this
Mm-hmm.
area because no one ever nurtured that area. There's nothing at the root of that area. Nothing has been
Mm-hmm.
planted there. I had to come to terms with, you miss that part of life,
Right.
unfortunately. It's
Right.
okay to mourn that.
Right.
Mourn the fact that you missed that, because you don't get that. It's over. You
Right.
know, you're
Right.
not going to be daddy's little girl. You're not going to have
Right.
this relationship. The, you
Mm-hmm.
know, even if my relationship were to end up getting better with my biological father, which he ended up passing away anyway, but even if it were to build, I was never going to be Shelly, the little girl running up to her. That time was over. And
Right.
so I
Right.
had to allow myself to mourn that so that I could begin to grow something new,
Right.
something different. And I
Mm-hmm.
think a lot of times we're afraid to tap into that pain, to touch that pain, because
Sure.
in that pain is the process of healing.
Right.
So people say they want to heal, but there really is no healing without the pain.
Right.
And so you have to be willing to touch the parts of you that
Yeah.
need a healing
Right.
in order for you to actually get it. And I think a lot of times, whether it's subconsciously or not, we don't want to touch that part. So we
No.
just keep piling stuff on top of it. And we're never ever able to actually feed our soul,
Right.
feed that root, because we
Right.
don't want to tap into that pain.
Right. I want to disagree with you on the vulnerability, but I want to say it's not vulnerability because we should be vulnerable.
We
I think
should, but
lack.
he took
I think it's lack.
advantage. He took
I think it's
advantage
lack.
of the vulnerability that
Right.
was in
But
me.
I think it's lack. Lack is something that people can pick up on. When
Oh,
you
I
don't have it.
absolutely. And
Right.
again, for me, I can't speak for everyone, but for me, it was my vulnerability at that time. I was
Hmm.
vulnerable with the wrong person. So in my case, it was vulnerability
Hmm.
that you came and you preyed upon.
Okay.
So, but absolutely.
Right.
And you're right. They see those things. They
Right.
see, you know, those
Right.
pieces, even when you can't see it.
Right.
They
And
prey upon certain things within that you're
right.
lacking.
Right. And I want to extend on what you just said on the part of they see that. I learned because I thought it was everybody else. Everybody else too, they're seeking me out, and I was vibrating.
Hmm.
I need, I want,
Mm-hmm.
instead of, not that, no, not I not want, but I need.
I
I was
need.
vibrating. I was vibrating. I need. And we are vibrational beings. So I was vibrating all of that until I decided, that's not what I want. I want
Hmm.
this. I want that. I want this. And all those things stopped. It was like, is that all I had to do was
Hmm.
talk to myself and say, I don't need this. I don't need that. I want a man in my life. I
Yeah.
don't need a man.
Right.
It's a
Right.
difference.
Right.
Because I'm happy, and should he come along, that's my pup.
Hello, puppy.
He's barking at whoever's outside.
They're
And should they come along, it's okay.
gonna add to it.
They're gonna they're gonna be an addition. They're gonna
You're gonna
compliment
be an
me.
exactly.
Compliment.
Because should I have to subtract you from my life,
I
I'm
won't say
still
that.
going to be
Right, right. It's like
fabulous
a
and
bank account.
wonderful
It's
and
like a
love
bank
me
account.
and valuable and all of those amazing things.
Exactly. It's like a bank account. You come and add to it. If you leave, I'm still gonna have. If you came into my life and gave me $2 and I had 1,000, okay, I'm not saying it might be more. Okay, so you come and give me 1,000. I'm not gonna lose because when you leave, I'm still gonna have what?
I
My
still have. I
I
still
still
have.
have, and
And
that's
I,
what
yeah, I think
women
that's the
need to
point
accept.
that we have to get to, though, where we look at things and say, these are not things that I need, these are
Right,
things that I desire, and I'm okay with that. I need food and water. I need
right,
that.
right. I need that to live.
I need that.
You're not food and water.
Right.
Definitely not.
Because I need
You're an
those things.
addition. But we need to. Women need to get to that point, or
Hmm.
should get to that point. Not need, but should get to that point that I don't need this person.
Right.
I want this person, and be so complete that they're looking around. Where should I fit? Like when you dress a Christmas tree, you're putting balls on in the spare places, and they come along like, where do I fit? Let me see. They want to find a spot to fit in to make it look even nicer. That's what you want for someone to come along in your life in a relationship.
You want to compliment each other, you know. I
Exactly.
want
You
to be able to sharpen you, I want you to be able to
right,
sharpen me, I
right,
want us to be able to move in the same direction, I
right.
want us to be able to disagree in a healthy manner,
Mhm,
you know.
mhm.
I want the entire thing. I want us to
Right,
be able to love, I want
right,
us to be able to forgive,
right,
I want us to be able to grow. You know, I'm
right.
greedy, I want it all.
Yeah. No, and you want and see if we go scripturally, steel. What does it say? Sharpens,
Yes, yes. That iron
sharpens
sharpens iron.
iron. That's it.
Absolutely.
It sharpens
Absolutely.
iron. So if you're iron,
Absolutely.
I'm iron. We're good. If you're aluminum, I'm tearing you up.
Yes, it's
You know what
probably
I'm
not
saying?
gonna work. It's
It's
probably
not
not
gonna
gonna
work.
work.
We have to be um so careful when we couple, and I love the word that you said, couple. When we couple with people, with first we're dating, we're getting
Yeah,
to know them, and that's not
absolutely.
2 weeks, that's not 2 months, because they even say the honeymoon period is like 6 months.
Yeah, I believe
How
that
do you
is
know
what they
somebody in
say.
2 months, move them in 2 months, and then all of a sudden, I see it every day on court TV.
Yeah,
I experience it. No, I experience it with couples I counsel, and I'm saying, you don't even know each other. You're describing somebody that is not even the person I'm sitting in front of, and I'm an outsider. I'm an
yeah.
outsider.
Yeah,
So
I do think that for most relationships, it really does take a little more time. There's always the exception because I've seen some that,
energy
yeah,
wise,
there's
yes,
always an exception. But for the most part, it's a good idea to take some time. It's
yes,
Judge Maybelline who says you need to oh, I can't remember. Oh, dang it. She says something, you need to seek before you leap or something like that, the
yeah, yeah, yeah,
judgment. And I
yeah,
think that we miss that part a lot because we're so into the right now emotion and
right.
the ooh and the
Self
ah, and
gratification
so we
is
leap.
today.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and we leap, and we
Hmm.
leap without looking, without going
Right,
deeper, without seeing,
right,
without asking
right,
questions, and it leaves us
right.
right back where we were before, depleted.
Even worse sometimes, even in
Absolutely.
a worse condition. And I coach a lot of young people, young women who have children. And I work with the homeless population, so I work in a lot of shelters. So, and I tell them, I says, I'm a survivor of childhood sexual abuse,
Hmm.
and I know the statistics. The next guy you get involved with, your child has 30% chance to be abused by that person. Now you
Wow.
may not think that. He's so great.
Hmm.
But when you shoot when we get involved, we have to assess the entire situation. We
Yeah.
gotta say, if we got children, we gotta say, okay, you know what I'm saying? You said to me your mother got involved when you were 12.
Yeah. Yeah. She got married when I was about 12. Yeah.
Right. So she had to assess the whole situation, look around and say, you know what I'm saying? What you said,
Yeah.
some women
Absolutely.
don't do that and say, oh, my feelings matter. They are, like you said, so engulfed. At that point, they are so engulfed in self gratification that they
Mhm.
forget about these
Yeah.
young vessels that they brought into in the world,
Yeah.
molded and shaped and hurt by other people. That's
Mm-hmm.
why it's so important to date.
Mm-hmm.
So
To collect
important,
that data.
right? And so important to, when you couple with someone, like you said, take some time.
Mm-hmm.
See if you're going in the same direction.
Mm-hmm.
Don't move him or her in. Let them stay at their apartment, you stay at yours. And I tell my
Mm-hmm.
no, you take your time.
Take your time.
You may have things that you have to, you're a diamond in the rough. And the only way that a diamond gets shine is that they get under pressure.
Yeah. Yeah. And you really don't know what that relationship is made of until there's a
Right.
little bit of pressure,
A little bit of
because people
pressure.
see a little bit of fire and they
Oh, they're
gone.
out. They're out. And it's so, and it's not even a little bit of fire, it's just a spark. Like a rock hitting another rock, and a little spark comes up. It's not even enough to make a flame. And it,
Yeah.
you mean that you get
Yes.
upset about that? I said, wait till you really get to something tough. Like,
Mm-hmm.
should you marry this person and they become disabled, you got to take care of them. Now that's fire.
Absolutely.
That's fire. Okay.
Yeah.
No
And
flame
is that
here.
something that you're really willing to do? And that's why I go back to my first question with,
What is this?
clients who desire to be in relationships and are saying, I can't find.
Right.
Have you ever defined the purpose?
Right.
What's your purpose?
Right. And then you have to make sure, and that's very important. You said it right. What's your, when you meet this person, first of all, when you go into a relationship, a lot of people want, a lot of women, I don't need to talk about women, women at our age, you're a little bit younger, at our age, want to get married because we see the sign. It's time, you know, that. We want to get married, right? So that's in our head. But I always say, don't do that. Stay in the moment. Enjoy the person in the moment. If you're on a date, don't start putting together the wedding,
Girl,
putting
we do it.
the
We do it every time. And I laugh. I laugh because what's so funny is it doesn't matter how many times I talk to women or how many times we say
yes,
it. It doesn't matter. The minute
yes,
we meet somebody, we like them, we vibe, and we like dun dun dun, dun.
yeah. It's true. And but
because
I've
because
learned,
because we
and I
love
was
the
included.
romance of it all.
Right. The ambience of that. But
Right.
learned, I've learned through dating, I've learned stay in the moment, enjoy that person. You know, you could be friends. They might not click with you where you want to
Absolutely.
go, and you need to ask questions. You need to go on another date. You need to go on
Absolutely.
another date. Go on
You
another
need
date.
to ask questions.
Yeah, you need to ask questions. Who's your mother? You know,
Right. You
how
need
old are
to
you
ask some
really? You
questions.
know, all those things. How old are you for real?
Yeah.
Like, all of that
Don't play
thing.
with me. I want to see
Right.
ID.
Yeah, no, all the ID, you need to see. No one does that anymore. And it's so disturbing because, and as you know, as a life purpose coach, you get here, your clients are now sitting in front of you. And the only
Mhm.
thing they're focused on, they need to get a job. They think, oh, I need to get a job. They come to you, I need to get you, help me, I need your help to get me to a job, or I need you to help me excel in my business. But what did they end up talking about? Relationships. George left me. They start talking about George. And I'm like, wait a minute. what we were talking about. Our goal was to talk about, but it always hinges on a relationship that's gone wrong. And then I always, like you just said, I go back to that question. Well, we came to see about you, but what is it that you are so hung up on George inside of you that
Mm-hmm.
you need to be in, that needs an answer? What's the root cause of
Yeah.
George?
What's at the
Why are
root?
you talking about
Yeah.
George? Are you the job to live? Why are you talking about George?
And what's at that root?
Right. What's at that root? And audience, I want to tell you, we're at 40 minutes. I don't know why she did. I don't know why Shelly. Okay, she did this to me. Um, audience, Shelly's amazing, and you can check her out on her website, shellymache.com. And you can also email her at Shelly, Shelley, at Shelly Mechette, MECHETTE.com. And she is in California.
Yes.
She does virtual as well as local. Now, I ain't gonna tell you her fees. She's worth it. Okay, she's worth it. Just all I'm saying. Now we want to look. Now you know, audience, what we do in this second half, which was over 10 minutes ago.
I'm sorry, audience. I'm sorry.
But we wanna ask Shelly, if you were to have a billboard in California,
Mm-hmm.
all your own, what words would you put on there for a whole California to see?
Just one word.
Any words you want.
Any word that I want. It would probably be I'm worthy. And it would probably say I'm worthy because there was a time that I couldn't say that. So I would have my beautiful face, honey, with my smile and my hand on my hip, and I would be like, and it'd be like, I'm worthy. And just because I'm a little sassy, it might say, I'm worthy, boo.
Well, you heard it, audience. She all about that. She all about worthiness, all right? And that's what's important. Us being worthy. Women, we are worthy. We are enough. We got this, okay? And no
Yes,
matter what we do as far as business, as far as our lives, as in relationships, we got this. But we got to be, as what Shelly said, we have to be real with ourselves. We got to be first and
absolutely.
foremost real. We can't ask nobody else to be real for us, but we got to be real for ourselves, because they may just be trying to charm us, but if we real with ourselves, we'll be our worst critic, but we'll be our best cheerleader. Okay.
The
So one last
best,
question. One
the
last
best.
question.
Yes.
So what would be your last meal?
Probably, probably seafood. I love me some crab. So I would probably have a feast of queen crab and and snow crab. Oh, yummy. And maybe like a side of chicken enchiladas. I know that don't go together, but since it's my last meal, I want it all, honey. And then top it off with a Dr. Pepper, kind of slushy, because I like when it's kind of slushy.
Yeah.
Girl, I'm gonna have to order me some crab now. You done started something.
So listen, if you guys are in California, what town are you in California,
I am in
Shelly?
LA.
Oh, if you're in LA, I want you to look for Shelly. Walk up to her and give her this Pepsi. No. I'm sorry.
Dr. Pepper.
Dr. Pepper slushy. And say,
Yes.
I heard you on Keeping It Real on Purpose. I'm giving this to you because I know you love it. Okay?
And I'm gonna be like, hey.
Hey. And she's gonna say, keep it real with yourself. That's what she's gonna tell you. She's gonna be real
Absolutely.
honest with you and say, keep it real with yourself. And then she's gonna bust open the crabs and start eating with no hesitation. Okay?
Yes. Yes. Give me that crab.
Give me the crab. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for taking the time out to be with us tonight. I hope that you send us some comments. I hope that you get in touch with Shelly, because I certainly going to be in touch with her because we had the most amazing conversation.
Yes, and for your audience, before we leave, for those who are still trying to discover where they are, please take advantage of my freebie on my site. It is 5 powerful ways to discover your purpose, and it is on my
Great.
site at shellymache.com/freebie.
Oh, you hear that now? She giving away things now. Y'all can't deny that. When you get something free, grab it, take it, use it. Don't just take it.
Use
Please,
it. Use it.
please use it. Please use it. But I thank you so much for being
Thank
here,
you.
Kelly.
Thank you. It's been a
And it
pleasure.
was
Thank
really
you.
a lot of fun. And this will not be the last time. We're hoping to have her back on our Mindful
Anytime.
Mondays panel. And that's what
Anytime.
we motivating women like crazy. You think this conversation was on fire? Watch for Mindful Mondays on
Huh.
fire. Okay?
Huh. That's my fire snap for you.
Thank you so much. And
Thank
audience, thank you so
you.
much for listening in. Remember to
Bye-bye.
like, subscribe, and to tick the reminder button to always hear the episodes coming after this one. Bye for now. And remember to always have abundance, love, and fun. Bye for now.